Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Harry Cosmo, freelance journalist for BBC Sport and others. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm just doing a quick intro, so apologies if you can hear my dog in the background. Heading up to the Sela Cup at St James's Park this weekend for Newcastle's final pre-season action before the Premier League season kicks off against Aston Villa next week. Should be really interesting. Newcastle face Fiorentina today. Their women's team play West Brom afterwards, and then there's also Nice and Villarreal in action as well this weekend as well, so it should be really interesting. Chance to talk to some of the players. I'm there for BBC Sport this weekend, so keep an eye on their Newcastle page on their website for some insight from the players and hopefully Eddie Howe as well. And yeah, looking forward to getting into YouTube this season. I'm going to be bringing you some reaction, some insight from the press conferences that I'm at, and some Premier League games as well, from possibly Bramall Lane as well as St James's Park, as Sheffield United embark on their Premier League season as well. So yeah, really hope you enjoy it, and let's go. Bit of a change of pace. I'm at St James's Park now, ready for the Sela Cup. First game, about 25 minutes away. It's Nice against Villarreal. I just heard the team news. A couple to watch out for Newcastle fans. Kefren Turam starts for Nice. Obviously heavily linked with Newcastle earlier in the summer. Was watched by Steve Nixon last season. Target for centre midfield. Obviously moved on a bit now since signing Sandro Tonali. Obviously heavily linked with Liverpool as well. Be really interesting to see how he gets on today. And Jean-Claire Todibo at centre half as well. Newcastle want a centre half this summer. Eddie Howe wasn't shirking away from still wanting to add to his squad in yesterday's press conference. I think centre half is next on the list after the arrival of Tino Livramento, which will be confirmed in the next few days. He's travelling up this weekend for his medical. Todibo is a name that was linked and mentioned to me earlier in the summer, springtime, as a potential target. Half time in the first game, 0-0. The only real thing to really talk about is Kefren Turam. Really, really good. You can see his short game is fantastic, his passing range, but he's so physically imposing as well. He's really, you can really see why Newcastle are interested. Jean-Claire Todibo's been caught in possession a couple of times, but he's really quick. Really, really good on the ball as well. He's pinged the ball a few times, so yeah, you can really see why Newcastle are interested in both. So I've just come in for a bit of respite in the press room. Before the second game starts, Newcastle's team sheet is out. Kieran Trippier's in. Alexander Isak is here as well. Sandro Tonali starts, and so does Lewis Miley. So that'll be really interesting. Luka Jovic on the bench for Fiorentina, ex-Liverpool, if you can call him a Liverpool midfielder. Artem Melo's on their starting 11. So yeah, it'll really be interesting to see Lewis Miley get started. That'll be really good to get run out of St James's Park, but obviously everyone's here to see Sandro Tonali as well. Harvey Barnes probably going to make his debut tomorrow. He isn't here. So yeah, the first game ended 1-1. I thought Nice were the better team. I thought Kefren Turam was the star. So very interesting so far. Ground's definitely filled up. There's 1-0 to Newcastle at the break. Newcastle going forward, been really, really good. Anthony Gordon very much involved. Hit the post. Should have scored another one, but looks much more comfortable, much more direct, and much more happy in the Newcastle shirt than he did last season overall. Really, really good going forward. Isak's link-up's been fantastic. Miley brilliant in possession. Miggy scored a goal and looks really good again. You know, pretty much nothing really learned about Newcastle going forward. I think at the back, a couple of times they're going into the left back position. Back target's been caught a couple of times. That could be a problem position going forward. We'll see. That's it. 3-0 victory for Becky Langley's Newcastle women over West Brom just then. Apologies I couldn't do an outro of the Newcastle win over Fiorentina because I had to go and speak to Eddie Howe and hear from him in his press conference. Really complimentary of Elliot Anderson and Anthony Gordon as the players get applauded off, as you can hear. As you have read on the BBC Sport website, I thought Sandro Tonali was brilliant today. Really knitted together everything for Newcastle, and that's really crucial, because in last season, whenever Bruno Guimaraes wasn't there, the issue was that they couldn't control the games. So really good opportunity for Newcastle now in games to have that control, even if Bruno isn't there. I still worry about left back, I will not lie. I think Matt Targett was caught out a couple of times against Nico Gonzalez today. If that's Vinny Jr. or Kylian Mbappe in the Champions League, or anyone in the Premier League as well, Moussa Diaby next week, that could be a bit dangerous. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. But really good day at the Sela Cup today, and on to tomorrow. See you then. And we're back for day 2, stood in the press room where Eddie Howe spoke to us yesterday and will speak to us again later on, about 12:30, and about half an hour out now from Fiorentina against Nice in the first game, then Newcastle Villarreal at 4 o'clock. Expecting another strong team. The other key players who didn't play in yesterday's game will play. Expecting Nick Pope in goal. Debating about left back with my family who were here for the game. Dan Burn or Paul Dummett at left back. Jamal Lascelles on centre half. Right back, Manquillo possibly. No Fabian Schär, as confirmed yesterday by Eddie Howe. Joe Linton and Bruno Guimaraes in midfield probably. Question mark over Sean Longstaff. Barnes on the left. Callum Wilson up front. Jacob Murphy on the right. Matt Ritchie's in there as well, and a bunch of young players. So really interesting that the bench yesterday was completely populated by young players, and only a couple of them made on the pitch, because Eddie Howe's really at that point where he's stepping up his pre-season ready for Villa. He's talking about having tough calls to make this week over his first 11. I think there's a few in the squad today who will be in for a fighting chance there. So let's see how it goes. 1-0 at half-time. Newcastle are really in control going forward. Harvey Barnes has been really good, linking up well with Joe Linton particularly. It's really going to be good to watch him next across the season, linking up with either Gordon or Almiron on the other side potentially. Jacob Murphy with a wonder goal 5 minutes in. Callum Wilson and Paul Dummett had goals chalked off. Bad tempers flaring though in the first half. Longstaff squaring up to Villarreal players, and fans are giving the Villarreal players a bit of stick. Quite a lot of fun, but a really good game.
Europe ahead of their respective league seasons, we have a winner, and that winner of the Sela Cup, presented by Visit Malta, is Newcastle United!
So Sela Cup done. Sela Cup won for Newcastle. 4-0 victory over Villarreal. Really good performance in the second half. There were a few hairy moments before Harvey Barnes scored twice and Joe Linton scored to pull away. Felt like that link up between the pair of them and Callum Wilson was really good. Eddie Howe was impressed with it as well. He said that there's new relationships forming, and that's going to take time, and what she said about Anthony Gordon yesterday. But yeah, really good from Harvey Barnes, and just generally Newcastle are really in good shape ahead of Aston Villa next week, and I think that Newcastle are going to be a real force this season. There were a lot of obviously fears about transfers, and he mentioned Tino Livramento there. He said he'll probably be done this week, might be ready for Villa. We'll see on that. But yeah, all in all, very successful weekend, and onto the season. I'll hopefully be doing more of these vlogs, as I said, or different reaction videos and stuff like that this season. So yeah, please like, share and subscribe if you like what you hear, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.